Welcome to Deep Thought. The mates you attract are a mirror. Now, this is something I know I probably discussed this in several places, but it's a primary thing, and people have to think about it from a more metaphysical perspective. Right? If you really want to know who you are, look who finds you attractive. See, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't want to deal with it for the simple reason is they have to admit, oh, maybe they got some issues, right? Maybe they have some issues they have to deal with. Because if they deal with some obnoxious, if all they getting is some obnoxious losers, right? Like this woman, I never forget, she said, I must have something on my forehead that says, that attracts losers to me or something. And I kind of looked at the woman. I didn't want to be mean to her, but she wasn't very attractive or stylish or anything. And quite frankly, a little obnoxious, right? So she was basically attracting her equal. Or this other woman, I forget this poor woman. She looked like Wanda from In Living Color, but she was obnoxious as hell. Right? For those who remember In Living Color, you remember when Jamie Foxx played Ugly Wanda? This woman looked just like it. And I couldn't figure out what it was with her at first. So I was at this event talking with her, and I was like, this woman's obnoxious as hell. And she couldn't figure out why men just used her for sex or something. And then you sitting there listening, and then I looked at her good. I was like, oh, no wonder. But she was basically attracting her equivalent. Like, if a person wants to know really who they are in the world, look at who they attract to them. And not even in a just a romantic thing. And, I said mates. I'll probably leave that the title because people can get that quicker. But just the people you attract to you. Like the people who want to be around you. It's always going to reflect who you are. It's always, wherever you at, that person is going to be at that level. Like if you use the infamous 1 to 10 scale, if you are 4, you're going to tend to attract, I say, people in the 3 to 5 range. And strongest, you're going to attract your equal. So if you're a woman, you're constantly attracting these jacked up looking dudes. Well, guess what? There's something about you that says you're attracted to them. Right? Or if you're a dude, you're constantly attracting these jacked up women. You need to look at something. Because, the law of attraction is a real thing. And since some people, that might be a little too deep for people, it gets deep. It say, nah, ain't the case. Think about it another way. Like attracts like. Like if you that type of person, like say you like me, right? You somebody who try to stay in shape. I work out all the time. I'm always trying to make money, right? Those are the type of people that kind of find their way to me. Usually the people I click with, they want some type of hustle. They keep it in shape. They want some type of hustle, right? But then I'm a complex person. Also, more intellectual types, whatever. As far as mates, very attractive women. That makes me feel good, though, about that one. I ain't really arguing about that one, yo. But I was thinking about that, too. It's like, wow, some of these women I attract are extremely attractive, but also business-minded. I noticed I attract the two things, a very attractive woman, but one who got some business ideas. And it's an incredible thing, but it's that whole, that's the mirror. Now, when I wasn't, when I was in some low places, I noticed that the type of people who were attracted would tend to reflect that, right? The times I wasn't pushing the business as much, I wasn't feeling like my best self, those were the people who tended to gravitate around me, people on that similar plane. Because, look, when we go out there, we look for somebody who gets us, just subconsciously. Like if we have a certain sense of humor, we look for that person. I use my son for an example. My oldest son is like very shy. Anybody who's met him knows he's shy. He don't talk a lot. He really don't. He's a shy person. Only time he talk a lot is when it comes to food. He's extremely extroverted when it comes to what he got to eat, right? And I remember, and like he's especially shy around women, right? But then I remember one time we were around this young lady, very attractive young lady, and she mentioned something about video games. And I was like, and he was like in a regular conversation with her, talking about video. I was like, what? And that's really the only time he talks to women. If they talk video games, he's very interested. In fact, it's funny. One woman, this one young girl, I had to pick him up from school. This one young girl was trying to talk to him. I was like, what is she talking about? He was just like, oh, just video games and stuff. She figured that out. They were like, oh, dude will talk to me if I talk about video games. But I'm using that to illustrate a point, right? I'm using that to illustrate a point. Wait, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something real quick. Anyway, I was using that story to illustrate a point. It was like, since those were his interests, he tended to click with somebody who had the same interests. Because see, when we talk further with somebody, if you're talking with somebody, the reason that y'all take it to a friendship level, y'all found a point of commonality, right? And that's really all it is. If you break it down, get past the metaphysics, you're going to deal with people that have a point of commonality. Even when it's relationships, you got to feel some type of commonality with this person. It might be because of your dress style. I had a woman approach me one time because, I had like a saying on a shirt I was wearing. It was interesting to her. And then getting to know her, she's that type who would wear like some crazy saying on a shirt or something, right? And so it would seem like, oh, it's just some random thing. But then we were similar on some other levels too, right? So when you attract mates, when you attract people around you, that's a reflection of who you are. It's just that simple. That's a reflection. I mean, people have to realize that. Now, of course, like I said, people don't want to deal with it because, well, the person's jacked up. If you're attracting a bunch of depressed losers around you, and I do mean depressed losers, like you can be depressed and still be generally a winner, but like people just not doing anything, it's like, boom, no, you got to change something within yourself. I think it was Robert Kiyosaki that said, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who said, what you make in life, the money you make is the average of your 5 best friends. And I believe that. That's why in my circle, like I keep my circle small. I keep my inner circle small. One, I tend to keep men in the inner circle who have some success with women and who are business orientated for a particular reason. Now, I know plenty of other people, but when I say inner circle, now my outer circle, I'm friendly to everybody, but I limit what I deal with on. And the women I tend to attract, like I said, tend to be very attractive with some business idea or something. It never fails. They always have a business idea, right? But it's the commonality. That's the key. So metaphysically, or, thinking about it, if you want to know who you are and what you're about, look at the people around you. And if you don't like the people around you, you need to check something about yourself. You need to change it. You might have to change it. You might have to learn different things. You have to grow. And that's a part of life. I know sometimes people, you want to keep that person around because they were cool with you at a certain point. But sometimes you just have to just say to yourself, you know what? I really need to move on. Right? I can't keep doing it like this. And that's very important. But pay attention to that. Pay attention to that more so than anything, right? So just see what I'm saying. Think about it. Break it down to its common thing. Like sit back, and really, really, really take that consideration because it's there. Because it's hard. I'm gonna be honest. When people say look in the mirror, you can look in the mirror and you won't see whatever. But the best mirror sometimes is the people around you. They're going to reflect who you are. So anyway, that's all to it. Hey, something to think about. Talk to you later. Peace and blessings.